Tom, hello. Again, you're in Skopje. How do you like it here? How do you like the atmosphere? How do you like the people?
Well, you know, I think that this is an absolutely super town. The difficulty for me is that I come on a Saturday night and the game is on a Sunday normally. So what I really see is the atmosphere in the Boris Tchaikovsky. And I have to say, it is one of the top atmospheres in handball in Europe. It's absolutely incredible. And what I love about it, particularly the Metalurg fans, is that winning or losing, they are still supporting their team. Sometimes in some of the big arenas, if a team is losing, the crowd goes quiet, or some other arenas, the crowd changes from being a positive to a negative effect for whatever reason. And I'm not just saying this because I'm here, but in the Boris Tchaikovsky, those 7,000 fans, I mean, they are just, it's like there's nothing else to do here. There's no cinema. There's no drama. This is their cinema, their drama, their everything. It's amazing to watch. It's amazing to watch the Metalurg fans support their team. I love it. It's brilliant. It always, and wonderful for me that this year it's our first match of the week because I know Zoran and I know the guys in the club, and I know how to get here now. So. It's a great start for me, a great start for all of us for Match of the Week.
How far will Metalurg go this season?
I think 2 words, Lino Chervar. No, that's terrible because it's quite unfair on the players. I think that it's funny actually. I was talking to Dejan Manaskov and Filip Mirkolowski just earlier, and I said, you know, from Ireland we like the little guy to do well, you know, and Metalurg is a club with great tradition. It's got quite a small budget, and yet it punches, you know, above its weight, which is incredible. And I spoke to them about Kielce, and they remind me a little bit of Kielce, that they didn't just go out and spend money, but they started the first year in the group phase and said, okay, this is well, it was actually both of them in qualifiers, and then they got to the group phase, and then the idea was, okay, test the water, see how it works, qualify if we can for the last 16, then don't worry what happens in the next year, see does that, how we played and everything we've learned from the Champions League work for next year. And if you look at the Kielce team, and I say Kielce and Metalurg because they're both very similar, they kept this group of players and added, you know, just a little bit, without changing. Like 1 year they've got 14 players and the next year they've a whole other 14 players, and I think that's worked for Metalurg. And when you look the last 2 seasons, last 8, is it the last 2 seasons, last 8? Definitely last season, last 8, when they lost to Kiel, and the season before the last 8, yeah, and then the season before that, last 16, the season before that was group phase, and the season before that failure to qualify from the but so you see it's a step by step, and not only that, but by doing it this way, Europe knows about them. Nobody wants to come here to play. I mean, nobody wants to come here to play, but Europe knows who Metalurg is now. You know, 5 years ago they'd say we're playing Metalurg, they go, okay, there's 2 points home and away. Yeah, but not anymore. Metalurg is no longer, it's a fortress here.
For the end of the conversation, tell us how an Irishman got into handball.
Well, I've told this story so many times now that I think it should be made into a Hollywood movie. I grew up on my road with 7 other boys, and we used to play football, tennis when it was Wimbledon, rugby when it was the 5 Nations as it was back then, hurling, which is an Irish sport, when it was the hurling championship, Gaelic football, which is an Irish sport when it was the Gaelic. And we used to play all these different games, and one day I said to the guys, when we were only about 10 or 11 years old, I said, I have a great game. And they said, what is it? Because I was always trying to come up with games in my head. And I said, you throw the ball to each other and you throw it in the goal and you score goals. I had never seen handball, by the way. At this, you know, this is 30-something years ago in Ireland. 2 TV channels, you know, we'd never seen handball. And they all said it's a stupid idea. Yeah, it's true. And then about 8 years later, I was in college, in university, and I was studying to be a teacher. And part of my degree was that we had to study physical education. And this guy came out and did handball as a course for one weekend. And he brought us into this lecture theatre, and he shows us this game from the Bundesliga on an 8mm reel. And I went, "That's my game. I invented that game," you know. So, anyway, the minute I saw it, I said I have to play it, and then I played it, and then I went abroad with the Irish national team. Well, only to England abroad. And all the guys were like this, and I said, "Oh God, I better get fitter and stronger." And then I learned. I watched as many videos. I did coaching courses. I played international handball. It's just the greatest game ever invented. I mean, how could you not love this game? And when I had the chance to play it, I stopped. I was quite a good footballer, and so, but I stopped playing all these other sports and just focused on handball. And by the way, everybody thought I was completely crazy. And but that's what I did, and I coached the Irish national team for 6 years. I did my coaching badges in Germany, and I just love this game, you know. And look what I get to do now, you know. I get to sit in the best seat in the house and watch top level players, and I get to meet them and talk to them and find out who they are. That's just it's like a dream, you know. So there you go. That's how an Irish guy knows handball.